Thank you so much for sharing this with us. This is really amazing to hear from your points of view. I was wondering, how hard is it to stay positive about everything from being through so much? Wouldn't it be really hard to stay positive?
Right. Could you hear? How hard is it to stay positive?
I see no choice. I have to be positive. I have to believe. I have to believe in the best that is in all of us. You see, after the war, there was also an issue for us to deal. How do we confront the people who have done such unbelievable things to us? How do we deal with anger? Do we hate? And we came to terms that hate has to end somewhere, and that we have to be positive. And I think it's not a matter of hate, and it's not a matter of revenge, but it is a matter of understanding. And I am so grateful, and I've waited for it for such a long time. In concentration camp, my mother used to whisper to us, "The world has a conscience." And in a way, I see it now, for instance, in Germany. I am so grateful for the fact that people in Germany and people in Austria and people in other countries where there was anti-Semitism or any kind of discrimination are asking ourselves, how could it happen? And you are asking, and you are here, and we are here talking about it. Indeed, how could it happen? We are all responsible. You see, I am not the only one, and the survivors are not the only witnesses. The whole world is a witness. And as witnesses, we must understand. And to come back to the question, memories that I have are hard to bear, but I channel it and I try to balance it, and I try to think of the good that is in the world, and this is how I channel, and I feel that it's much more rewarding.
Thank you. Erna, how would you answer them? How do you stay positive?
Well, I think generally I'm a very positive person. I'm the type of person who anything bad happens to me, I seem to forget. I only remember the good things that happened to me. Try not to dwell on the bad ones. And of course, after coming to the United States in 1948, I met my husband, I got married, and after that I had a very wonderful life. So I tried not to dwell on what happened then. Of course, you never forget. You just cannot forget what did. But you try not to think of the bad things. I just think of the wonderful, wonderful life I had here.
Thank you. Passaic Valley, we're back to you.
All right, I'm Matt again. And yesterday and today are Holocaust Remembrance Day, and we know that's like to commemorate all the 6 million Jews that were killed during the Holocaust. And we're just wondering, how is this day celebrated in Israel?
How is Holocaust Memorial Day celebrated in Israel? Do you know?
I know no more than the general public probably knows. I know that it must be of particular significance because Israel was one of the first places that opened the doors for the people who were homeless, who were stateless. You know, it's very hard to imagine what it means to be stateless, without a document, without anything to support your rights. And in a way, I think that Israel became symbolic as a place that would always keep the doors open in case for Jewish people who suffered persecutions repeated times through centuries. It's not the Holocaust is not the first time when Jewish people were homeless. So I imagine that the celebration is very, very strongly felt.
Yeah, I think you got us on that one. I think we assume that in Israel, as it is here, survivors' stories are recognized and shared, and memories are brought to the forefront because there are so many more survivors in Israel than probably anywhere else. And I'm sure it's their responsibility, as it is yours and as it is ours, to make sure that especially today, these stories are remembered and brought forward to future generations. So Keswick High School, do you have a question for us?
Hi there. We all started to think that liberation is a good thing. How were you treated after you were liberated from the camp?
Okay. How were you treated after liberation?
The treatment was mixed. In spite of the fact that Polish people suffered discrimination and terrible treatment under the Nazi occupation, there were still some people in Poland who forgot what it meant to be put down by other people. So there was some anti-Semitism in Poland. The story that I was alluding to before, in the town where we reunited with our cousins, our life was precarious. So, and I described how my cousins had risked their lives to stay in the house, in their own house, and that we had to sneak out in the darkness of the night. And the following day there was a pogrom, which is like a riot. Coincidentally, it was very fortuitous that we got out of there. So, but there were also some people who were very kind, and in my book I describe a old woman in a tiny town who did a very, very valiant thing to protect us. So we were homeless, we were stateless, and we were mostly on our own, and it was difficult.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize that we've already reached our time limit. And so we would like to thank all of you for joining us today. I'm going to go very quickly and see if each school has a final comment. If you would like to, I'd like to invite you to write to either or both of the people who joined you this morning. Your teachers have my contact information, and I would be more than happy to share your letters with the survivors who've spoken with you today. So thank you so much for joining us. Centerville, do you have any final comment that you'd like to share?
Yes, we would like to really thank both of you for sharing your stories, and constantly amazed by your positive outlooks on life, and how you took a horrible situation and just move forward in life. It was really uplifting to hear both of your stories.
Thank you. Passaic Valley, would you like to say anything before we leave you today?
Sure. I would just like to thank the moderator and both guest speakers for giving us this opportunity. It's a very special opportunity to hear stories like this, and it's something that we will always carry with us and remember.
Thank you, and thank you for joining us. Keswick, your final words for us before we leave?
I guess I'm just going to say thank you on behalf of the entire nation of Canada for allowing us to be part of this. It's always great when we can hear survivors and firsthand experiences. I know that I speak on behalf of my students when we say that the information that you've provided for us and the lessons that we've learned today will definitely be remembered. So thank you again.
Thanks to all of you, and we hope that you have a nice day.